Get ready for the dictation. Start. Madam, on behalf of my party, I rise to support the general budget which has been presented by the Honorable Finance Minister. He deserves our appreciation for presenting the growth oriented budget. Madam, as you know, this is the fifth budget of the Honorable Finance Minister as well as of this government. In my considered view, this is the finest of all the budgets which has been presented by this government. Some honorable members were finding fault with the government for not eradicating poverty and not reducing inequalities in this country. These are all the age old problems. These cannot be tackled by a budget. A budget is not a 10-year perspective plan wherein you can include all schemes. Now we must understand the context in which the budget has been prepared. I would like to state that the budget is only an annual financial statement anticipating the total revenues and the total expenditure of the government. Of course, by using the revenue and expenditure instruments, the government can try to achieve its goals. It can try to solve the existing problems in the country and also carry forward the process of growth that has been achieved so far. A budget has to be implemented in a number of parameters. We have to look at the parameters and then judge the budget. After looking from all these angles, I would say that the union budget is a first-rate budget. I would give 85% marks for this budget because it satisfies the parameters of tax reforms, fiscal discipline, growth in a number of fields, etc. Among other things, the most salient aspect of this budget is that it carries the mandate given in the common minimum program that has been translated into reality in this budget, and it has not strayed away from the path, and all the expenditure proposals and the tax proposals are within the ambit of the program. It means that the budget shows how proficient it is. Secondly, this is the budget of the second year of the 11th 5-year plan. Naturally, the budget has to carry forward all the plans and schemes that have been given in the plan, and it has to serve the goals of not only growth by also inclusive growth. Therefore, only growth can relieve India from the clutches of poverty and unemployment. No magic remedies are available except that we have to promote sustained growth in agriculture, sustained growth in industry, and sustained growth in infrastructure. Without that, it is not possible, and that would be possible only with generous funding, which has been done very well by the finance minister. What else can you expect for promoting growth? So, in that respect, also I appreciate the finance minister. Thirdly, this government in general and the finance minister in particular is very accountable in his budgetary exercise. He not only insists that outlays are important, but more important than outlays are the outcomes. That means every rupee which is spent by the government should result in positive outcome towards certain important goals. Now, in this respect, perhaps this is the only finance minister who has presented an outcome budget along with the general budget every year. This ensures that the money is not simply wasted away on unproductive schemes and all outcomes are given by the government. Fourthly, this government is most responsive government. Perhaps among all the central governments, this government is living with the people, understanding their problems and requirements, and is responding to the needs of the people. The loan waiver scheme, about which much has been said, is a classic example of how this government responds to the dire needs of our farmers who have been indebted from various sources, and that is one example of how the government is performing. Madam, much has been said about inflation. It is true that inflation hurts the poor. It not only hampers the economic growth but also badly distributes incomes and dislocates resources. There is no doubt about it, but we must take a holistic view of how inflation is rising and who is responsible. The fact is not particular government is responsible for inflation. Rising prices affect everybody in the country. There is no doubt about it. I feel that this government has never failed on the front of controlling the price rise. If he had wanted, he could have kept the customs duty and the excise duty untouched, but realizing the need for reducing the prices, he has reduced the customs duty on many items and the excise duty on many items, which will have a soothing effect on moderating the inflation forces. We hope that with the increasing production and productivity in the next 2 years, we will be able to achieve responsible price stability and safeguard the interest of the common people. Now, let me come to the gender budgeting. There is no two opinions that at long last the government has woken up in this issue. It is also true that it is very ironical, and at this point of time it is good, but this gender budgeting exercise is a clumsy one, and I do not know how they have come to this conclusion. I think it should be relooked upon by this government, though I am not going into the details. It can be done in more transparent manner without confusing the allocation done exclusively for children. Of course, the mother and children are always given relief. At the end, I would like to say that some my colleagues will address some of the other issues. It would like to conclude by saying that this government had got a lot of opportunities for the last 4 years. We supported this government on the basis of the common minimum program. Madam, with these few words, I conclude my observations on the general budget and give thanks to the Honorable Speaker for giving me an opportunity to speak. Stop.